weekend I was watching YouTube and watching Dollamore, and he was talking about these uber right so-called Christian pastors that are downgrading democracy, going after Black Lives Matter. And this one that was talking about Black Lives Matter was just nasty. He said it started by these lesbians, and we're not going for any of that here, not now, not ever. And yeah, it was just really nasty, very, very nasty. And these are supposed to be Christian ministers, ministering to people. Yet, rather than ministering to people, they're all about the dark side, okay? Putting out, exchanging light for dark. So I wanted to do a reading on this guy that's out there just really negatively speaking about Black Lives Matter. Just absolutely nasty, heinous things that he's saying. And what I got, the first card out is Queen of Pentacles. Now, for me, a lot of times the queens, if it's not a person, then it represents the internal ideology of the person. The men are showing external actions. The female is showing the internal thing that's driving them. So what's driving this guy internally is wealth and power, okay? Oh gee, what a surprise. Out on the law of one for himself, that's it. Because what we have underneath of it is the challenge, the death card. So he is preaching something that's coming from the dark, and inside of it has, like spirituality that's coming from the dark. Okay? Where does it lead to? It leads to death. Okay? Need I say more? The conscious thoughts are about what he can put out there. What can I entice them with? What can I share? Okay, it's of a dubious nature. What can, touch their heartstrings? The way he is, he sees himself all ego-based, okay? Doesn't mean he consciously sees himself as a dark entity, but that's what it's about. It's all about ego-driven power. He has replaced the light for the dark, calls the dark light, okay? And again, uses that as a way to entice people. So how does he do that? By having them evaluate stuff depending on what he's saying, and he will give them a way for action. Look at it this way, with what he's giving. Look at it this way. Take action against the Black Lives Matter. Need to look at it. It was started by lesbians. It was, just absolutely filth. In the past, this is not the card of waiting for your ship to come in because it's dry desert. He's not seeing a ship come in. He's just trying to find a way to go forward, okay? Turn his back on either what he knows or what he, just anyway, taking action in the world, pushing forward. Hopes and fears are, he's hoping it will be strong. The fear is that, something else will be stronger than what he is. Short term, again, it's about his greed. Internally trying to hang on, gather, collect, his position of power. Last card we have here is about, people need to be grounded and look more deeply. It takes investigation. It takes looking at things, okay? Doing your journey, okay? And in this, he's going to be out Um, Again, it takes looking, it takes climbing the heights, it takes internal introspection. Now, another way I see to do the what's above in the foundation is replacing what's there. So instead of his, the way that he's expounding on Black Lives Matter, it needs to be replaced with love. It needs to be replaced to see that we are equal. Now, in this card, you see the guy, the gentleman is of a darker persuasion. We need to get along. There needs to be that love. There needs to be a coming together. Instead of going out and preaching this stuff of action, there needs to be this feeling of pain for people, understanding the pain that's there, the pain that the Black Lives Matter are feeling. And there needs to be this coming together, understanding, having some compassion, some empathy, of which this guy has absolutely zero, okay? It's about developing that compassion, love, empathy. So instead of him preaching this, look at, I've evaluated it and this is what I see, rather than that, his fake evaluation, have a coming together. Rather than his expounding on, taking action, and we're not going to have that here, have some compassion, have some empathy. Change your railing and you're out there, this energy that you're putting out there of hate, have some compassion. Feel the pain that these people are going through. Change your message because of your greed, internal greed for power, status, you are going down the road of death. Okay? You're preaching out of a dark void that is masquerading as spiritual. Okay? And that's where your consciousness, that's where his consciousness is now. The yellow represents the consciousness, his mental faculties are running on that because he is all about ego. And what he can present out of this darkness, parading it as some sort of wisdom and light coming from God, when it's coming from, what did I say, the evil angels. You have the angels that parade as angels of light, and they're dark. You have the pastors that are trying to be sheep in they're wolves in sheep's clothing, okay? Giving out a false message, okay? So this is why people need to do more grounded introspection and look at things where they're coming from. In his case, it's an internal need to hold and gather and collect and try to maintain his power, his control, his status, okay? And you can try to exchange the light for the dark, flip them, but it's not going to sustain one in the end. So, love and light, see you online. If you enjoyed the reading, give a thumbs up. And if you didn't, you want to rail against it, you can give your thumbs down. Go your way, enjoy your life, or not. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you online.